show. I am your co-host, Mrs. Duüblé Jones. I am the lady with the stones, the come here's, and the leave us alones. And we invite y'all here every night. Y'all know we grow live. And we cover everything spirituality, numerology, soulology, astrology. So turn your notifications on so you don't miss a beat. If you do miss a beat, because life be lifing, you can always catch the replay. Shout out to our replay lovelies. But you can catch the replay on our YouTube or our Instagram. But I recommend y'all to head over to YouTube so we can get those watch hours and algorithm flowing and growing. And thank y'all to all of you who do connect with us, who do reflect, dissect with us. Thank you to all of you who share this space with us. Thank you to all of you who place your orders on a daily basis. Thank you for our customers, our loyal and continuous and repeated customers. Thank y'all. Head over to the website, CrystalineMars.com. We only have we don't even have a whole 24. We got about 15 hours left of this beauty being on sale for 20% off. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful lapis lazuli necklace available on CrystalineMars.com, and it has the hieroglyphics engraved with the Egyptian gods and goddesses stories on them. You can get a better view on our website, CrystalineMars.com. No promo code required. Again, 20% off. It will be going back regular price sometime around noon Eastern time on December 6th. Not December, January 6th, y'all. So, and you'll get free shipping for all U.S. orders over $75. So y'all stay tuned for the upcoming beautiful pieces that I will be posting on the website. If you do want to custom as well, y'all have been DMing us and emailing us in regards to majority of our pieces being out of stock on CrystalineMars.com, and I thank y'all so much. If it wasn't for y'all, that would not be the case. And so if it is a piece that you would like, that inspires something that you want, let me know. Send me a screenshot, because when it comes to the pieces that I create on CrystalineMars.com, they are a one of a kind. Like, if you've been hanging around for a while, you know that none of my pieces are identically the same. They may have similar stones. They may look alike a little bit, but they are never exactly the same. So when it comes to what's out of stock, you won't see it back in stock unless it's like a basic wrap necklace. We have $35 necklaces available on the website. Things like that are like simple wraps. Yeah, but our charm bracelets and things like that, charm necklaces, those are one of a kind. So y'all just bear with us, or you can place your own custom order, like I said, if you don't want to wait. What else we have? I believe that's everything. So let's go ahead and flow into the message of the day. And the message of the day is your destination. That's what it is, right? Your destination is more important. No, your direction. That's what it is. Your direction is more important than your speed. Your direction is more important than your speed. I'm going to say it one time for the lovers in the back who can't hear me. Your direction is more important than your speed. So I pray that those are the words that you needed to help remind you that, hey, it's okay to slow your roll. It's just about moving in the direction that leads you to the destination that you desire. Okay? And as long as you are intentional, as long as you are focused, you will get there. We have a whole lifetime to grow. We have a whole lifetime to grow. How long or short that is for you, you'll leave this earth when you're ready. Okay? So with that, just be intentional with every moment, with every second, with every opportunity that arises. But this is not a race. So slow yourself. Move at your own pace. All right? Because it's often when we're moving so fast that's when we begin to veer off. Or not often, but it's possible that you begin to veer off and you lose focus on why you even got started in the first place. So slow your roll, check your compass, and see if you're even headed in the direction that you actually want to be, or where you just so tunnel vision and narrow that you begin to really lose focus on the bigger picture. All right. And so that's the message of the day. And we're going to go ahead and get into tarot tea time, you and me time. If y'all do want any love, if you want any live readings, y'all can send y'all love offerings in now. It is a $15 minimum for a general, $10 for one yes or no, $20 for 3 yes or no questions. So y'all can send y'all love offerings in through Cash App, PayPal, Apple Pay, or Zelle. But for now, we're going to go ahead and get started with the collective tarot tea time. If we do have any personals, we'll get into that after. And then we're going to get into our spiritual exercise, which is going to be so beautiful. I was sleep earlier. I took my daily nap, and upon rising, I had a whole vision, and I pretty much went through the spiritual exercise for tonight, and it's really beautiful. So y'all stay with us. And to those of you who are new, the spiritual exercise is a guided meditation that's going to be very profound and transformative. So we'll be doing that after the reading. So y'all stay with us. But let's go ahead and move on. Peace, y'all. Jazz said hi. Thank you. Received my order today. Ashe. Thank you for placing your order. I love y'all. Hold on. All right, so where we start with the collective? Unveiled. Per usual, I want to start with Fortitude today. I'm going to start with Fortitude, and then we're going to go to Unveiled. Peace, Sheba. And welcome in all y'all. Y'all share this live as well. Where the lovelies at? We have a small class today. Where the lovelies at? All right, let's see what Fortitude got for us. Don't forget, y'all can always get y'all Oracle decks and pull with me. These Oracle decks, this one, the Unveiled, as well as our OG deck, is available on CrystalineMars.com. Oh, heart check. Yes, y'all drop your hearts, y'all. Drop your hearts in the comments. All right, what we got, Fortitude? You experience breakthrough when you break through. You are built for this. In order to grow stronger, you must exercise these muscles regularly. This test will soon be a testimony. So some of y'all are ready to throw the towel in. Some of y'all are ready to throw the towel in. And there are some things that you're surrendering that needed to be surrendered here. So know that when you're close, when you really feel like there's nowhere else to go, when you really feel like there's nothing else to do, that is when you are being called to just sit, trust, and receive. Okay? You experience breakthrough when you break through. And we talked about that with the Fortitude. This upcoming year 2025, it's going to be all about you breaking through and unlocking the versions of you. You breaking through those limited beliefs, those boxes that you are in, those mental blocks, those emotional blocks, right? You knocking them down so you may ultimately experience a higher version of yourself, a better version of yourself, a more true, authentic version of yourself. All right. And some of you may even feel weak in this season. And the only way you will get stronger is by building the muscle, going to the gym, doing the spiritual exercises. Right. So if you do feel weak, this is a time to build strength, build muscle. Okay. You said I was so ready to throw the towel in today. Ashe. And the Fortitude is going to be key. That's why I encourage that y'all get y'all Oracle deck, because this Fortitude deck is going to for sure pop out the card that you need in the moment that you need it to get you going, to fortify you. That's what this deck is centered around. Fortitude. All right. And it's 42 cards in this deck just for you. So CrystalineMars.com. I encourage y'all to go get y'all own copy, because it's going to be a lot of that. It's going to be a lot of that. It's going to be a lot of, you don't got to do that. And there are going to be some things that you do, like I said, need to throw the towel. You need to throw the towel in, because the towel is dirty. The towel is filthy, right? There's some things that needs to get cleaned up, washed up. And some things that need to get just thrown away, right? Because maybe you've washed it so much now it's dingy. It's dingy. And so, but you know what those things are that you need to push through. And a lot of them are still going to be challenging. Even with you knowing that it's a challenge, it's still going to be challenging to push through. But that's why it is important, again, that you remember your why. unveiled said yes. So the yes card been coming out a lot. Yes, you need to get your deck. Go get your deck. Okay, but with this yes, following the fortitude, that's why I encourage y'all to get both, because like I said, they work together hand in hand. But with this yes, this is just confirming what came through with this breakthrough. So some of y'all are like, oh my gosh, is it over? Some of y'all are so tired of stressing about just things that are out of your control, and you've been like, Lord, can you take care of it? Because I'm trying. I've tried, you know, and this is bigger than me. This is beneath me, right? Some of y'all may even need the task. I was talking to Brother Logas about my rituals, because y'all been placing so many rituals, and he was like, wait, you doing all these personal rituals for lovelies? And I was like, yeah. And so, but I told him how I got it set up, and I was like, pretty much I do my rituals, but I task a lot of my woadies, the gods, the Egyptian goddesses and gods, and the Orisha as well. I task them, so I'm not putting as much of my own energy into the ritual. I have them working day in and day out, and I check in. I do a little sprinkle. I give offering as needed, but I don't have to give as much energy. And so some of y'all really need to incorporate your spiritual team, whoever that is for you, into your day-to-day practice, into your daily rituals, whatever they may be, big or small. Okay? There's power in numbers. And so there may be some things that you're trying to just do alone, and it's like you have a whole team here that can bulldoze through that wall, and you over here backing up and running into the same wall, bruising yourself, when really all you needed to do is call in your team, and one hit a quitter. Boom. Whole wall fell down in one hit. You know? So I don't know who needed to hear that, but the help is here. Okay? Shiva asked, have I been initiated? Yes. Not in your traditional way, but yes. I did share a little bit of my initiation a few lives ago, actually. Oh, we're done here. Obviously not. We're going to pull one more from Fortitude. Thank you, Barbara Gal. Thank you. Swag Family said, I light candles and talk to my mom and dad and ask them for help. Is that okay to do? In this year, the year 2025, we are not asking anybody, is that okay to do? You trust your intuition, okay? Trust your intuition. When your spirit leads for you to light a candle and talk to an ancestor, that is because that ancestor wants to talk to you, right? If your intuition leads you to put in a 2 weeks notice because your time is up here, put in that damn 2 weeks notice, okay? I am a guide. I will assist you, but at the end of the day, the goal is for you to be your own God, for you to remember the God that you are. All right? And do what you know you need to do. And but to answer your question, though, it's not that it's okay or it's not okay. That is just a way to connect with your ancestors, okay? Connecting with the elements help to magnify that energy and make it more easy for you to connect with them, the spirit realm. Okay? We're just going to get one more from Fortitude and we're going to move forward. All right. In order to transcend, a light heart is required. This card came out last time. I feel like it was last Sunday. I don't know, but today is Sunday. Today's day is ruled by Leo. Leo rules the heart. So obviously we need to do a heart check on today just to see where we stand, you know, because life been life and things been thinging. So the card reads, in order to transcend, a light heart is required. Close your eyes, breathe. Oh, so close your eyes, y'all. Close your eyes and breathe into your heart chakra and visualize a scale with 2 plates. 1 plate on each side. Visualize your heart being on 1 plate, and on the other plate it is a feather. And now observe your scale. Is your heart light as a feather? Is your heart heavier than the feather? Is your heart lighter than the feather? All right. If your heart is lower, that means your heart is heavy. If your heart is in the middle, that means your heart is balanced. And if your heart is high, that means that you have a light heart. And you may slowly open your eyes and meet me back here. So we just need to do that heart check. You can always go back to that space. And if you do need any assistance when it comes to heart healing, that'll be your SecMed. That'll be who I just had. I just really had a brain fart. SecMed, Yemiya, Ma'at. Okay, you could call them in for help with healing the heart. And for some of you, your heart was, your scales were teetering, and that is okay too. But with this, with both of these cards coming out, remember the first card that came out was speaking of you break through, you experience the breakthrough when you break through, right? And then the other fortitude card that came out was a heart check, right? So some of you may be repeating certain things because your heart is heavy. You may be repeating certain heartbreaks or karmic cycles because your heart is still heavy. So there is some more understanding that needs to be had. Brother Logas said something so profound yesterday to one of our lovelies. I think it was Maya Janae during his Q&A section. And she was pretty much just talking about the guilt that comes up because she just feels responsible for her sibling who has transitioned onto the other side's children. And so it's this guilt that she feels when it comes to, when she can't show up in the way that she wants to because of different things. And Logas said something along the lines of, you feel the guilt. No, she said, I think I might be mixing stories because she did say that. But when she was talking about, she said she feel bad for leaving people behind. That was the comment that Logas responded to that I want to talk about. She said sometimes she feel bad for leaving people behind. Guilt comes over her when she has to leave people behind. And so she just choose to let them, keep her down. And Logas made a comment and it just spoke volumes because this was an epiphany that I had recently when it came to accepting, right? And he said, you feel the guilt and the shame and things because you're viewing people the wrong way. It is the way that you're viewing people that is causing the shame and guilt. And remember that they are not your responsibility. And that was something that brought me peace because I found, especially in this season that we're in now, that I am spinning the block trying to bring everybody with me or lowering my vibration or staying in a certain space so I can coexist with certain people, right? Go back to who I was just so I can make other people comfortable with me. And it wasn't until I got rejected. It got to the point where I began to get rejected by everybody. A lot of people in my life, family members to be specific. I got rejected by a lot of family members. And it hurt at first. And I kept feeling like this was something that I needed to release and surrender. And so I sat with it and I just began to ask more deeper questions. And I was like, obviously there's something more that I need to understand about the situation. And I was like, and then I immediately had the download where I was like, it's the way I'm viewing them. I have to evolve my perspective of the world around me and the world within me. And that will allow me to free myself from this burden and this responsibility. And I did just that. And I found my peace again, the missing piece. Okay, so I don't know who needs to hear that. And sometimes it is a very uncomfortable. I think the hardest part is just doing it, honestly. Because when I was in the bath earlier, I was just sitting. No one was home. So I really I was in my own energy, except for my dog. And I was just really thinking, I was like, life's grand. Life's chill. Life is peaceful. Life is abundant. And I was like, I really love it here, you know? And so there may just be, you may just have to go through some very uncomfortable patches and, taking the Band-Aid off and actually seeing where the wounds are and seeing where you may be codependent or just, trying to stick to a certain tradition that has outgrown itself. And then you may just have to sit in that for a little bit, allow for the healing to happen, and then own about your way you go. Okay? Keep It G Media said everybody can go queen. That. Is it the way you're viewing you? Both. It was how I was viewing myself as well as how I was viewing people. Because it's all a reflection. So they both were true. Right? And me not seeing that, oh, these are reflections of me. And if they are rejecting me, it's not that person per se, because it's layers to this. We talked about the layers because it's a couple of things to this thing. But if they are rejecting me, then obviously there is something that it's something that I'm not seeing that I need to reject. It's something that I am not seeing that I need to reject, and or something that I need to see that I am not accepting about where I am today. And I am no longer in resonance with that energy, and that's why it's rejecting me. Just like when you may fast from something or you go a long time without something, and now your body begins to heal. Your body begins to operate in this new way, right? You're not consuming the red meats anymore, and that's just metaphorically speaking. You're not consuming the toxins anymore, so now you're cleansing. Now you're raising your vibration. Now you're more healthy. And the moment you eat a piece of shrimp, Duüblé, the fried shrimp at that, because it wasn't necessarily the shrimp, but fried shrimp from some restaurant where you don't know what kind of batter it is. Now your body is rejecting it because it's like, hold on, what is that? What is that? We have to get this out. We got to go in attack mode. Okay? This is a foreign substance in here. And so it's both, you shifting the way you view yourself and the connection to everything around you. And that will help you with allowing yourself to transcend in love and in peace. And understand that the other versions of you may be angered, right? The reflection of you may be angered because you're choosing better for you. Again, let's zoom out and not look at it like, oh yeah, my mama, she hating and she just mad because I'm being better. It's not your mom per se. It's the energy that can no longer use you as a host. It's the old version of you that was comfortable that you have broken through and you're now choosing more. And so it only can understand what it can understand. It can only overstand what it can understand. And so when you begin to really look at it in that way, like, oh, this is just a past version of me, an old, diluted, unhealed, ignorant version of me that I am just experiencing externally. And so what I'm going to do in this moment as I respond to this energy is I'm going to respond with maturity. I'm going to respond with compassion and empathy, understanding that, hey, it is where it is, and it can only understand but so much while it is in that space. Just as like when you were in certain spaces, it may be certain things that you're doing now. It may be certain choices that you've made. It may be certain subscriptions that you subscribe to, and a past version of you probably would have some of you, right? I'm just using this as an example. Some of you would have never seen yourself as being more spiritual, right? Even though maybe religion didn't resonate with you, at one point in time, you saw yourself as that Christian, right? At one point in time, you saw yourself only at that job, right? Even though you knew it was possible that there was another job for you, whatever. At one point in time, you saw yourself only with that abusive partner. It was hard for you to really, really grasp and understand another possibility because you just didn't have, You had sight, but you didn't have vision. You have sight, but you did not have vision. And so as you begin to exercise those muscles and activate your chakras and connect with your soul and your spirit and connect the three, your mind, body, and your spirit, you begin to see more for yourself. And that is what this vessel is choosing to do. That's the direction that this vessel is choosing to go in. So when it comes to the externals, those are versions of you. And it's about you becoming aware of what versions of you, because even, there may be versions of ourselves that we have yet to still unlock. And you may be connected with certain people and you may see them in having certain limits and things, and you may be able to, if you look, you may be able to see yourself and your limits in them. Like, ooh, that's a part of me that I have yet to unlock, and that's why that stuck out to me. That's why that resonates. Right? So it's about using everything externally as a tool. Use everything as fuel, as gas to get you going. And that's why, it's important for you to check yourself when you find yourself trying to convince or persuade somebody to do something, because really you're just trying to convince yourself. You're trying to persuade yourself. You're trying to believe yourself. It ain't got nothing to do with your mama. It ain't got nothing to do with your colleague. It has nothing to do with your partner. That was for you, like boo. Keep It G said, thank you, Silver. You're so sweet. And Meet Meek. I love y'all. Crystal. Keep It G said, Crystal, people will start to hate and feel that you think you are better than them just because you want to do better with your life. Yeah, that's a part of it. That's a part of it. That's a part of the game. Let's see what we got here. We about to close up in a minute. I did get a live donation. So we have the past here. Okay. Your past and those associated with you will continue to impact your life until you close and cut old relationships and soul ties. So speaking of this past energy, and you see how he's leading in the front. All right. So with this, it's interesting. Some people may even just want to overlook you. Some people see your growth. Some people see that you are shining, glowing, doing great in life, very successful. You're evolving. Some of y'all may be like losing weight or whatever it is, right? And some people may literally be purposely trying to turn their head just so they don't have to acknowledge you. Some of y'all are getting like stink, snooty faces, sly remarks being made just because of the choices that you are making. And it's like, why are you mad at me for making choices for myself? You snoot your nose up because I don't want to eat your bacon. I don't eat that. You can eat that, and I'm not even shaming you for eating that. So why are you mad at me? That's the thing. With this past energy, some of y'all may find it's like the main people who may try to like call you judgy or all of these things, you will find that they are those very people. It's like Christians, the Bible thumpers who will come through our lives every now and then and be like, you need to find Jesus, or you are the devil, or this stuff is the devil. And they're so freaking judgy. But then they will try to like make it seem like they're not being judgy, but the whole time they are. And so like they'll make it seem like you're the problem, but really they're the problem because you're minding your business. They come into your space and give unsolicited advice. You know what I mean? And I want y'all to take that beyond Christianity. That's for anything, right? Some of y'all are making life decisions that have nothing to do with nobody. And because, like Lovely said, you are choosing better for yourself, it shows the lack of seriousness that some people have for their life. And so then they want to project and say, oh, you think you're better. You think you're better. You think you're healthier. You think you look better. You think you're more fit. You think you're more enlightened. You think, and it's like, what? You're really insecure. That's the truth. You really feel some kind of way because you know you are showing up discounting yourself. You're giving yourself the crumbs. And I'm saying, no, I don't even want those chips. But because you're selling for the crumbs and I said I don't want the chips, I make you feel some kind of way. That's a you thing. That has nothing to do with me. Just like one of the times recently, one of the lovelies came on a YouTube chat and said Logas looks way better as he dressed like a regular Joe. Because I think he had on a hoodie and some sweatpants that night. And he literally said what I was saying in the background because I was in the chat. I wasn't on the show. I was in the chat. And Logas was like, of course, you know, some people would say that I look better dressed like a regular Joe Schmo because that makes them feel comfortable when I look like them. You know? So let this past energy, you know, let them be where they are. Let them be what they are. Underworld said I just was eating chips and left the crumbs. All right, so we have release. We have the past and we have release. Full moon is coming up. Full moon is coming up in a few days. This whole year is about release, but you definitely want to work with the full moons, and because it's going to be, the energy is going to be more heightened, right? When it comes to that, some of y'all may want to do a cut and clear, rather doing your own cord cutting, or I can assist you as well. CrystalineMars.com. You can book a spiritual clearing, and we do a guided meditation type situation where we go through and cut cords. Or you can book a personal ritual, a cut and clear ritual, which includes a ritual as well as a personal candle burn. So you can choose, but nonetheless, we have this release here because you're ready to transform. You're ready to evolve here, but there's just some cocoon that you're trying to stay in, and it is keeping you restricted. It is keeping you restricted. Somebody found a way out. I'm seeing somebody find an exit. And you're like, come on, guys, let's go. And they're like, no, I'm scared. I'm going to get in trouble. I can't leave because we're going to get in trouble. And you are the one that's going against the grain. Like, fuck that. I'm leaving with that rebel energy. I am leaving. I'm leaving. We have ready for love here. So the past, release, and ready for love. So this ready for love has been coming out a lot as well. And so this is you getting excited. This is you releasing with joy. This is you like releasing, like, you know how a funeral is like, don't, and I say don't lightly because I understand that there is a grieving process, but do your best to shift your perspective around death itself. Knowing that this ending is just merely a beginning, a new beginning. Celebrate the life that was. Celebrate the version of you. And we're going to do that tonight, actually. We're going to go deep tonight for the spiritual exercise. And we're going to be doing that very shortly. Speaking of, I'm closing out with an angel number. Y'all know I got to check myself because I get carried away here. But with this, it's like celebration of life here. Celebration of life. You crossed over, or you're crossing over here. No longer bound to this third dimension or bound to these material things. And we have 999 release. Goddamn. Goddamn. And we have starting fresh here. Now just say that, release. Reminding yourself that this is just a new beginning here. Okay. So it reads, your current circumstances are ending, release. So you might take advantage of better ones. Ready for love. If you are experiencing a significant change or conclusion, viewing your life as a series of cycles or chapters may be helpful. How can you make room for something new to emerge? So release came out twice. Okay, 999. That may be a number that y'all are seeing, that y'all will be seeing, just to remind you to let it go. Let it evolve. Allow for it to evolve. Allow for yourself to evolve. Y'all affirm that down below in the comments. I allow myself to evolve. I allow myself to evolve. And so by you allowing those things that are not evolving with you, they will dissolve. If it does not evolve, it will dissolve. All right? So don't spend so much energy on necessarily, and that's why it's like, yeah, releasing and things like that, but more so, again, focus on your direction. Because if you're breaking through, if you're constantly unlocking versions of you, if you are constantly forging ahead into a certain direction, by default, the evolution is going to happen. By default, the transcendence is going to happen, in turn, forcing things to let go of you. So that's another perspective too, actually. Instead of focusing on releasing, focus on evolving. Focus on exercising your muscles. Focus on your transcendence. And as you do that, everything else that is not going, it will fall off. And some of y'all are seeing that. Some of y'all have been very, very, very proactive when it comes to your spiritual development, when it comes to your healing, and you're wondering why certain relationships ain't relating. You're wondering why certain vibrates ain't vibrating. Because you've done the work. You're not there anymore. Love don't live here anymore. All right, y'all. So let me get into the Lovey's personal reading, and then we're going to get into our spiritual exercise. I told y'all stay here now. Y'all stay here. This spiritual exercise is about to be deep, real deep. So Tiandra, General. Tiandra. Summer honey. Tiandra, General. Ashe. It's 9 o'clock. So after I do this, we're going to be getting into our exercise. So y'all can go ahead and start setting the vibe. If y'all want to sip a little tea, if you got to go to the bathroom, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and turn your lights down low. Go ahead and get comfortable, because just in 1 minute, we're going to be getting into our exercise. So y'all can go ahead and start setting the vibes. Get your incense burning, whatever you feel like you need. So, baby boo, Tiandra, you have total disruption and you have passion ignited. Total disruption and we have passion ignited. So your ancestors are calling for you to hone in, zone in when it comes to your passions, when it comes to what you are pursuing here. Because we have total disruption here. So there may be some incoming calls or just chaotic energy that's trying to come through and distract you here. It does feel like class clown energy. So it could be some clown, immature stuff, like some circus shit show kind of stuff that's just trying to get you distracted here. Okay, so you may need to set some boundaries as well when it comes to who you're talking to, when you talk to them. This feels like hours, right? So like, say you wake up, you like, I'm not going to talk to nobody first thing when I wake up. Like, I'm not answering calls first thing that I wake up. Like, you know, I don't know if you have a habit of doing that where like in the morning, like you just kind of like just get up and get right into it. Or even at night, you just let people call you. I don't care who it is. Your line is open at 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. And it's like, there are some boundaries that needs to be had. There are some boundaries that need to be had. Like, these are my do not disturb hours. And you don't have to make an announcement. This could be just parameters that you set. Like, okay, I see them calling. I'm going to screen that call and I'm going to call them back. I'm going to call them back later. And I might just even tell them like, hey, my phone go down at 9, whatever that is. But it is some boundaries. Even if it's not like around that, it's just some boundaries is what I'm just getting when it comes to external energies entering your space. And you may find where these boundaries need to be set, because you'll find yourself getting annoyed and irritated. Like, oh my gosh, that is where the boundary needs to be set. And be consistent with those boundaries that you set. Because there are going to be times where you may want to bend them. There may be something where you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh my gosh, I got to tell my friend about this dream. Or I got to something. And it's like, no. Remember the boundaries that you set. Look, now you all bored, you lonely, or you got a little drunk night and now you want to call everybody. No, because remember, you're going to be sober tomorrow. And you're going to want to go back to your boundaries. No, right? So just remember the boundaries that you set and honor them. Okay. All right, we have conscious connections. We have the twins here. So it does feel like there is some balance that needs to be had when it comes to your works. I'm not sure if this is spiritual works and or physical works, but working with the moon as well as the sun. Work with the moon as well as the sun. So when it comes to your manifestations and things like that, it could be with charging your water with the sun, doing rituals outside. I know the weather is a little funky, but you know, maybe with water, or doing more rituals or work rather in the daytime as well. Like balance out your work here, because they're both powerful. So don't just be heavy in the moon, like, and don't be heavy in the solar. We have highly sensitive, root of water. So I did just channel that water energy. So with this highly sensitive, interesting. So you're definitely going to want to spend more time in water, right? Taking baths more habitually, more ritually is going to help you a ton as well. When it comes to just your temperament, it feels like your temperament, definitely drinking your lavender, your chamomile as well is going to help with your calming your spirit. I do feel like there is, this is a very, 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 very sensitive and vulnerable time for you right now. You say, yes, I've been wanting to work with the sun. So even working with your citrine, that's a solar stone, a charging stone. Your selenite is another one. Yellow jasper is another one. And that's all I can think of off the top of my head right now. Yellow calcite is another one. So those are some yellow stones with that solar energy that you can work with. But like I was saying with the water, definitely, yeah, it feels like you're in a very vulnerable spot right now. And it is very important when it comes to the energies that you connect to, which is why we came through with the boundaries at first. Okay? You're in a very, very, very vulnerable spot right now. So connecting with Yemaya as well as your spirit guides to protect you is going to be key at this time. But it's heavy on you honoring your boundaries so you may be at peace. So you may rest in peace. Okay? So that's what I got for you, lovely. And I did not get any love offerings. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the spiritual exercise, y'all. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. All right, y'all. Did that message resonate with y'all? Like the collective tarot time? Meet said this ish resonate for real. That personal just resonated. Ashe. Welcome into all of y'all who have joined us. We're about to get into our Soul Sunday exercise, and we conduct spiritual exercises every Sunday with intentions to activate and exercise our chakras. So y'all go ahead and get comfortable because we're about to dive right in. Ashe. All right, my love. So you may go ahead and close your eyes. And take some intentional breaths in through your nose and out of your mouth. Relaxing your muscles. So we may travel. And as you breathe, you begin to hear raindrops. You may begin to hear thunder. There is a storm outside of where you currently dwell. And the rain is picking up and it's getting harder and harder. And you hear it beat against your window, beat against your rooftop. And now, wherever you dwell in this present moment, allow for yourself to get up and go to your front door. And once you make it to your front door, you open your front door. As soon as you open your front door, boom, the wind pulls back the door, pulling it off the hinges. And there you stand, looking outside in the night hour, or maybe it's late evening, very cloudy, rainy, and windy. There are all types of things flying in the air. You hear the wind whistling. That's how hard it's blowing. The rain smacking you, entering your space. And I want you to look out to the nearest tree. There is no tree there. Visualize a tree. Create a tree. But before we head over to this tree, I want you to look down at your attire. And you have on a gray sweatsuit with no shoes, no jewelry, no socks, just a gray sweatsuit. And you're a little hesitant to step outdoors because it's cold. It's windy. It's wet. It's thundering. But it's time for us to now step out of our comfort zone and step into the storm. And so I'm going to count down from 5 to 0. And when I get to 0, I want you to run to the nearest tree that we saw earlier. When you get to this tree, hold on tight to it. Grab onto a branch. The tree may be small enough for you to wrap your whole arm around it. But whenever you get to it, I want you to hold on to it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. Go ahead. Make your way to the tree. The wind may blow you. The rain may smack you in the face. Stay focused on where you are headed. Once you get to this tree, hold on to the tree. Hold on to a stem. As you feel the power of the winds, we have Oya, the goddess of the storms, the goddess of change and transformation, goddess of the winds. And the winds are picking up, and you may feel as if it's harder for you to hold on. And hold on until you can't anymore. You may feel yourself being pulled away by the winds. And to those of you who released your grip of the tree, allow for the wind to blow you to the next tree. As you float in the air, completely drenched in water, you now have something else to hold on to. The thunder is roaring. The clouds are so dark, and you may fear what's next. You may fear your life, wishing you can just run back in the home where you came from. And as you look into the sky, you see lightning bolts. And it seems as if the lightning is getting closer and closer to you. The rain is picking up again, the winds are picking up. You hear the thunder. And now the lightning strikes the tree that you were holding on to. You are now in static shock. You feel your body vibrating, pulsating, and everything goes black. There's nothing but stillness. And you hear a faucet leaking. Drip. 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 And as you begin to walk forward, you feel the water beneath your foot, beneath your feet, as if it's a puddle. Continue to walk until you see a warm yellow light that is hovering over a coffin. And this coffin is surrounded with flowers. You may see a large portrait of you beside the coffin. And this coffin is beautiful. It may be your favorite color, nicely polished. And as you get closer to this coffin, you're able to see the vessel. And as you overlook this vessel, you see that it is you. Here lies your vessel. The old version of you that was waiting to be released. The old version of you that no longer serves, that no longer has space here and now. Allow yourself to feel anything that you want to intentionally release. Any person, any people, any beliefs, any attachments, any addictions, any habits that you want to leave here. You may now release. You may say, I release, and finish the sentence. Allow yourself to feel any grief or any joy. Allow yourself to feel. Look at your hair. What clothing are you wearing? Whatever you are wearing, it is all black, symbolizing power and death and strength and protection. And now, when you are ready to close this chapter, you may reach up and close. Reach up and grab the lid and close the coffin. After you have closed the coffin, You may go to the foot of the coffin, or you may want to pull it out from where you are. There are handles there on the coffin for you to pull out. And you may roll this coffin out and begin to push forward. As you begin to carry this coffin out, you feel you're still in darkness, so it's hard for you to see, but you feel as if you are walking through a portal. It's very thick, and you feel the resistance as if you're pushing a ton. And continue to push through. You may have to lean forward and push through. And as you push through, your environment begins to come to color. And you begin to see the clouds. It looks very similar to that place you just were in the storm, but it's more calm. There is no rain, no thunder, no wind, but the clouds are dark and gloomy and gray. The temperature may be the same or maybe a little warmer. And you see that you are at a cemetery. And this cemetery is vacant. All you see is land. All you see is dirt. Empty lots. Ready for all that you will put to rest in this year, 2025. And so as you make your way through this empty lot, when you have reached your spot, you will know. In fact, there is a spot where it's already dug. All of the tools that you will need is there waiting for you. And as you can see, no one is here. It's just you. And so in this moment, we call forth any ancestors that you hold near and dear, any spiritual guides that you work with personally, anyone who you would like to share this space with you and bring you comfort and support, you may now call them forth. And as you call their names, you begin to see their faces or feel their presence. And so it is now time for us to place the coffin over the designated slot. So on 3, we're going to pick up this coffin and lay it over the slats. 1, 2, 3, lift. Begin to walk towards your designated lot. And we're going to drop the coffin onto the slats slowly. And you feel the weight of the world on your shoulders and your heart. But it is time that we release all of this. It served its purpose, but not anymore. And so we are now going to lower the coffin down into the dirt. And you can assist in this part if you may, or you could take a step back and allow for your spirit team to do the work. The coffin is now lowering deeper down into the earth. You feel like a part of you is gone, or maybe all of you that you knew is gone. And now your spiritual team begins to cover the casket with dirt, with soil. And as you look up in the sky, you see a rose slowly falling down. It is moving in like a spiral direction as it's coming down towards you. You hold your hand out and grab the rose. And I want you to observe what color rose this is. Feel the rose. Smell the rose. And when you're ready, you may place the rose on top of the soil above your coffin. Then I want you to close your eyes. Turn around and open your eyes. And in front of you is a body of water. You're at a beach. And you now look down, and your attire is blue, matching the ocean, the sky. And now walk towards this body of water. There may be a lot of emotions that arise in this present moment that you've been harboring. We allow for the waters to heal us. And we leave all of the weights, all of the stories that we believed about ourselves and others that were not truth. Any guilt, any shame, the abuse, the harassment, those times where you weren't safe, you felt attacked. Therefore, it instilled fear and distrust. We release. Anything else that you would like to release, I want you to leave it here at the water. Continue to walk into the water. Continue to walk into the water. You're waist deep. Continue to walk into the water. Continue to walk into the water. Don't worry about drowning. Now you're neck deep. Continue to walk into the water. You may hold your breath. Continue to walk into the water. And allow for the water to hold you as you float on your back effortlessly. Close your eyes and feel the waves. You feel as if you're literally being transported. Continue to keep your eyes closed. And you now feel like you're getting closer to shore. You begin to feel the sand underneath you. And there you lie at the shore. Continue to keep your eyes closed. And now you may at the beach, open your eyes and observe your surrounding. Now, where you are, only you know that. But we call forth the four sisters, Oba, Oya, Oshun, Yemeya. And we call forth Shango. And all five of these Orisha stand before you. And to the left of them, there is a large mirror that looks like liquid swirl, as if you know it's a portal. And they all look at this portal, signaling for you to walk through it. When you're ready, you may walk towards that portal. When I count down from 5 to 0, we're going to walk through the portal. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. You cross the threshold and enter this portal, and you find yourself back in that space where we first started, but this time it's sunny. The grass is green. You see that same tree that you ran to. It has beautiful flowers on it. Everything's beautiful. Everything's healthy. Everything is life. Everything is light. You see birds flying around, mockingbirds, cardinals, parrots, tropical birds. You hear them delightfully singing songs. You smell the freshness in the air. You feel at peace. And as you look down, your attire is now white, cleansed, reborn, remembered. You look down at your feet, cleansed. You may even have a pedicure, clear polish, white polish, no polish. But your feet are groomed. Even your fingernails are groomed. Your nails are long and strong and healthy. You look at your skin is moisturized, your body is in shape. You feel great, the best you've ever felt. You feel one as you are. You've made it through. And so now, head towards your front door. And as you can see, it is back on its hinges and it is repainted, maybe a different color. Take note of this color. It may be the same color, just freshly polished. And as you go to unlock your door, you may find that there is a keypad where is a code that is required. And only you know this code. Or maybe you may have a key with a double lock, but only you have access to this key. And at this time, you may unlock this door. And as you unlock it, it automatically opens, welcoming you back home. You may now enter your home, and the door closes behind you. You didn't have to touch a thing. And now make your way back. to where you started. And you see your body resting peacefully. You may now enter your vessel and breathe. Become more aware of your surroundings. If you have a TV on in the background, or if you could hear your heater, wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Ashe. When you all come back, if you could leave a tornado emoji or any other emoji that resonates with you to claim that transformation and that rebirth. You could leave a dove, a white heart, whatever resonates with you. Ashe. How was that for y'all? That was a deep one. That was a deep one. Ashe. Anybody have anything they'd like to share? Brother Logas will be entering very shortly and we'll be switching over to the spiritual lesson, but if anybody would like to share anything or not, that's fine. You may still be trying to just regather yourself, and I get it. Swag Family Sierra said, loved it. Ashe. Envy said, amazing. Sheba said, that was amazing. Ashe. Did any feelings come up? Like, how was that? You know, like, from when you had to go in the storm, was anybody like hesitant? Because that storm was crazy. That storm was crazy. You said, I cried, goddess. Ashe, good. I'm glad you did release. And then the actual coffin, that was deep. Seeing yourself in that casket. Graffiti said, is it me or did we just walk through the underrealm? Yeah, we were definitely in the underworld for sure. And right now, what I'm playing in the background is an Anubis frequency. And you know, Anubis is the god of the underworld. So yeah, we were definitely beneath the surface. For sure. That's why it was so gray. That's why it was so gray. Right? It was so dark and gloomy, like, but yeah, that was deep. Even at the beach, I don't know what y'all beach looked like, but the beach that I saw, it was even dark out there. It was like, where's the light? Where is the light? And then when we came back, we went through the portal. Because how was that? How was actually going through the portal for y'all? Did y'all feel like the resistance? Because for me, it felt like going through like a glob of energy where it was like, it was so like thick. It was so thick. But when we made it back, everything was so bright. It was like Paradise Island. Ashe. Sheba said, I'm a visual person. I see it all. Ashe. Graffiti said, Lord, felt his presence heavy there, for sure. Goddess said, that was great. I feel so much better. Ashe. Kiana said that was beautiful. I learned so much about myself. Thank you. Of course. Ashe, Spiller V Scott. How you been, Beeb? Beeb. How you been, babe? Hey, beloved. You felt calm? Underworld said, yeah. I was like, why my tree like 400 foot? Just be one said, lighter now. Underworld Reaper said, then flew like high, like so high and landed on a bigger tree. No, that part. Because the vision that I had earlier, like I knew we were going to go to the tree, but the vision that I had earlier was the lightning was going to strike the first tree that we were at. But as we were there at the tree, I felt the wind pulling us. And I was like, oh, bitch, we got to fly in the wind? We got to go? We got to fly? We got to be thrown? And I was like, oh, man. So that's when I just began to prepare us for letting go of that tree, and getting transported to somewhere else. And, yeah, that was so interesting. That was so interesting. I look good in that coffin, though. Can't cap. I can't cap. My picture was pretty, too. I did that. What they say? My picture ate. Underworld Reaper. Wait. Envy said, yes, took me back to when I walked the beach at night. Ashe. I felt like my face was being smashed. What y'all say over here? I have to go to sleep. I feel like I'm going to have some powerful dreams. Ashe. And I pray that you rest in peace. I know you will. And definitely, you'll probably have some very profound dreams. So have a notebook. Be ready to jot some notes when you rise. But thanks for sharing this space with us, though. We'll be here tomorrow. Eon said Jamaica at a juice bar or on the beach.
Root chakra. Rotate to the right.
I'm glad this ain't come on when we was doing the thing. This Logas is this is Logas's
to the right. Root chakra.
I don't know if you call it a prayer, mantra thingy. Hold on, who just sent something? What y'all want?
Root chakra. Rotate counterclockwise.
Hold on. I love it here. Like we really we do this in real life, yo. Like we don't just talk about, we don't share what we share with y'all, and then when we get off live, we live a whole different life. Like, no, we really do this shit in real life. We really do. This is real life. For surely. But yeah, Brother Guys has entered. So I do want to change the frequency though. Let me see. Did anybody have any questions for me before I head out? Any questions, comments, concerns, any comments? And while we got the rebirth of Kurt Franklin right here. We got the rebirth. Thank you, Michael Miller, for your love donation. Thank you so much. But we got the rebirth here. Ashe. What's going on? Underworld says, second time I've burnt myself. First time wasn't as emotional as that. Envy said 24/7. What you talking about? Oh yeah, no, living it though. Facts. For sure. Okay, there we go. All right. So y'all be sure y'all can always revisit that space. Y'all can also always revisit that tree. Y'all can always, run that live back and go a little deeper, if you'd like to. So thank y'all again for sharing this space. And if y'all want to book any personal services, crystalinemars.com. Any personal rituals, crystalinemars.com. And I do for you. I do for you, baby boo. Eon said, thanks for the guided meditation, goddess. Of course. Thanks for sharing this space. Thanks for sharing this space and let me be up in your face. The Real Mo Show. Hey, babe. Is that Spiritual Mo? That's why I had to look. I guess y'all could drop some birthdays or something so I could stall a little bit because Brother Guy is still getting his life. So I could do a quick little birthday read. Wins9 said, I'ma definitely run it back. Magic tree bus around here. Magic school bus. Miss Frizzle, my nizzle. You already nizzle. So, oh hell. I don't know why I said that because I'm not in the space to do this right now. I talk too damn fast, man. Okay. Gosh, I don't really feel like. Okay, what we got? You ready? Oh, Brother God's ready. Y'all can always book a birth chart reading on CrystalineMars.com. I show you. Much love, peace, and hair grease. All right. Woo! I got saved by the bell. Oh, thought I burnt my arm, but I didn't. Okay. Yeah. Ooh, Lord knows I really wanted to do something, but y'all started putting them days in there. I said, huh? Okay. Hold on, that was weak. I chic. All right, baby, what's on you?
Peace, family.
Grace.
Today's spiritual lesson is that there's errors in reality. In all dimensions, in all levels of reality. Just like in a video game, there are glitches. Just like in a movie, there are glitches. In any technology, there are glitches. Everything that's in our entire existence is a technology, whether it comes from the plants to the animals, to the very vessels that we are housed in, to the very earth that we're on, the very matrix that we live in, the reality that we live in. It's a programming, and therefore all programmings have errors. They have errors in them, right? This is why you see these weird shifts happening more and more in our current existence. Whether you see it in government, whether you see it just around in your everyday life, you're seeing these like weird shifts and changes, and a person looking like this one day looking like slightly different the next day, right? You're seeing these people saying things, but they didn't say it, but you thought they said it, and they really did say it, and yet they did, and yet they swear they didn't, right? Weird dreams, weird scenarios, right? These are the glitches. These are the errors in reality, because reality is a amalgamation of potentialities, of just potential. The energy is already there, and then they're just potential possibilities that can happen at any time once it's being experienced, once it's being observed, it's transforming, it's changing, it's shifting based off of the being or beings that are observing it, that are experiencing it, right? Because of that, there are going to be some inconsistencies, going to be some glitches, right? And this is at all dimensions, whether it's the third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth, sixth, seventh, they're going to be these glitches, right? These glitches, I believe, are just more apparent on the lower dimensional fields, like the third dimension, or even lower ones, like the second dimension, when you're talking about video games or computers, and even more glitches when you're talking about first dimension, when you're just talking about, I would say, just time in and of itself, right? So you have all of these glitches and errors, which is the evidence that where there is a glitch, where there is an error, there is a way to hack the system, there is a vulnerability, right? You just have to be diligent enough, focused enough, and willing enough to look for those vulnerabilities in the matrix, so you can try to find a way to hack it so that you can find ways to ascend and to transcend. But it requires great diligence, because the matrix it's just like any computer system. It is highly advanced, highly evolved, and it's always on its job trying to keep the consciousnesses trapped and secured within that programming, within that matrix. Therefore, you have to continuously be on your square, be on point to catch the program slipping, so that you can take advantage of it and then ascend or transcend. Ashe. So that's today's spiritual lesson. So we're going to Q&A and any spiritual clearings. Ashe.
Ashe. And God is Victoria. The website is crystallinemars.com. The link is in our bio.
Peace over to TikTok. Appreciate all the likes and the gifts. Peace over to YouTube. Appreciate all likes, shares, subscribes, and the super chats. And peace over to the OGs on IG. Peace to Underworld Reaper. He says he knows a way. Ashe. Let's see. Peace to Meek on YouTube. Talking real ish. Ashe. Meek. Peace to Sheba Bay. Peace over to the Swag family. Sierra. Ashe. I'll just give y'all this update. About 10 months ago, I started my spiritual trials. My own rites of passage, you could say. Really mostly as a test run for my son, as his rites of passage will begin here shortly in the next couple months. Right now, in this particular month, I'm supposed to be doing reading off prayers each day, a certain amount of time. Pretty much every month I've stuck to pretty much what I had written down for the trials. There have been some slight changes and deviations here and there. This month, though, it is a little different, because instead of reading off of the prayer that I had written a year ago, now that prayer has changed, and actually I've now been each day working on actually new prayers each day. So right now my energy has been going, instead of reading off the one that I was originally going to read off of, I have each day been writing a new one based off of certain spiritual activations and exercises that I want to consistently practice. So that's how I've flipped that one into just writing new ones each day, at least until I've written all the ones that I feel like I need to write, and then I'll just continue to read off on them. But even throughout the day, I'm continuously listening to the prayers I've already have written and recorded. So I'm listening to those. Um, um, and I've shared this with Duüblé. I've shared it with my son as well. And actually, I have my son listening to one of my prayers every morning when he's doing his morning routine. And I've seen some very interesting and powerful results. Things I wasn't really expecting. But it seemed to have given him a sharper and stronger mind. Um, just the way that he moves, and actually, he has a whole new level of confidence, and it's and almost like a sense of fearlessness that has that I've never seen before. So that is the power, I would say, of a proper. Um, it's not really a prayer; it's more of a chant, I guess you could say, like these um, having a proper prayer chant can really cause very huge differences and evolutions in one's being. Meek Ashe, we interpret it the way we want to. I feel both of y'all Ashe, Meek. So I'll give you guys another minute or two. Let's see if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and wrap it up so I can continue on my the other aspects of my spiritual journey. And the World Reaper says, that's really cool that you have created something that works. Super proud, Ashe. Appreciate that, Underworld Reaper. Yeah, I've created quite a few things that work. I've been making quite a few prayers and chants that work for quite some years now. So it's not the first time. But this is I've seen that this is one of the most effective ones that I've created, most powerful ones, as well as one of the most balanced ones. Because I've made some really powerful ones before, but they weren't something that you could just easily do every day. They actually kind of became overwhelming. Therefore, there was a certain imbalance in them. There was a certain level of imbalance in them, right? So the chants that I've created now have more of a balanced effect, and a balance coming from a more balanced approach. Ashe. Ashe, Meek. Appreciate it. Yeah, but that's what transcendence and is about, right? It's about ascending to new levels. So you don't want to be satisfied with any spiritual or just any enlightenments that you come across, which I find a lot of spiritual people tend to do. They actually get complacent very easily, very quickly. It's more of like an excitement, I think. They just people when you start getting into enlightenment, spirituality, you get excited, and I get it. You get excited about learning, this whole new world that's outside of the normal, school education, public education, 9 to 5, government-run capitalism type of world, right? You know, Christianity, religious Islam type of world, right? So it can be very exciting, and then you learn the things, the Kundalini and the yogas and the ashes and the namastes and the meditations, and right, it can be in the reikis and things like that, right? Or in some cases the aliens and the Egyptians or the Orishas, right? And it can be the herbs, the veganism or what have you, right? It can all be very exciting, very exciting, very enriching, right? But that's only the beginning. That's only the beginning. After that, then it becomes a trial and error, and then also becomes a evolutionary game where whatever you've created that works, that's great. Now make it better, and keep trying to make it, better, right? I think a lot of people have that challenge of making it better because they don't know what they're making it better to do. To do what? Make it better to, what are we, trying to get to? And what we're trying to get to is the fifth dimensional body with the seventh dimensional consciousness, right? Pretty decent example of what that looks like. The avatar Aang, which his name Aang is a great indication of that whole concept, because Aang is not a name. It's really it's not really Aang. It's really Ong, and Ong is a vibration. It's the original universal vibration. Reportedly, right? So that's one good indication. Dr. Manhattan's another really good depiction of this higher dimensional being. Buddha is another great depiction of a higher dimensional being. So those are some good ones to look at for reference points. Share. All right, so I don't see any questions, comments, or concerns. So we'll go ahead and end it right there. We'll come back, starting the Monday off right, or we're leaving this Sunday, start the Monday off right. So we'll say Ashe, Asante, and Amen. Ime Kamalika, it is done. And we'll see you tomorrow.